Welcome to Mega Stadiums. Today, we're diving into the story of one of football's most iconic venues, the Camp Nou. This colossal stadium has been the home of FC Barcelona for decades, witnessing unforgettable moments, from magical Champions League nights to historic comebacks. But after so many years of glory, it's time for a complete transformation. Will the new Camp Nou be ready? That's the big question on every fan's mind, but the answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. Join us as we break down all the details about the Spotify Camp Nou renovation, the delays, the challenges, and when we might finally see the Blaugrana back in their legendary home. Let's go. From history to renewal, a necessary evolution. Camp Nou is more than just a stadium. It's a symbol of global football. Opened in 1957, it has been home to some of the greatest football legends, from Johan Cruyff to Lionel Messi. It has hosted Champions League finals, World Cup matches, and even Olympic events. However, the last significant renovation was in 1994 when standing areas were removed to comply with UEFA regulations. Since then, the stadium has aged and fallen behind compared to other European giants like the Santiago Bernabéu and the Allianz Arena. The idea of renovating Camp Nou isn't new. In 2007, then-President Joan Laporta presented an ambitious project designed by renowned architect Norman Foster. However, a change in the board of directors halted the plan. Years later, in 2014, Josep Maria Bartomeu revived the idea with the Espai Barca project, a massive redevelopment plan that included not only the stadium, but also all the sports facilities around Les Courts. Yet, the club's financial struggles delayed progress once again. When Joan Laporta returned as president in 2021, the project was greenlit once more, this time with an even more ambitious vision. The renovation was now not just about aesthetics, but also about boosting revenue at a time when the club's finances were in critical condition. The new Spotify Camp Nou, a stadium reimagined. The new Camp Nou is set to be one of the most modern and technologically advanced stadiums in the world, rivaling Europe's finest football venues. With a planned capacity of approximately 105,000 spectators, it will maintain its status as the largest stadium in Europe while offering a revolutionary matchday experience. The renovation is part of FC Barcelona's ambitious project, designed to transform the club's facilities into a global benchmark for sports and entertainment. Key features of the renovation include full roof cover. A brand new roof will cover all stands, significantly improving fan comfort and optimizing stadium acoustics. The roof will also be equipped with solar panels, making the stadium more sustainable by generating renewable energy to power various operations. VIP and premium seating. The stadium will feature 9,400 VIP seats, with 3,400 of them adaptable for various events. These premium areas aim to provide a luxurious matchday experience and are expected to generate an estimated 33.5 million euros annually in revenue. Expanded commercial and leisure spaces. New restaurants, bars, retail stores, and entertainment zones will turn the stadium into a year-round destination, not just a matchday venue. These spaces will include fan zones, club museums, and interactive exhibits celebrating Barca's rich history, sustainability, and eco-friendly innovations. The renovation project places a strong emphasis on sustainability, incorporating rainwater collection systems, energy-efficient LED lighting, and the use of recycled materials in construction. The club aims to significantly reduce its carbon footprint and enhance its environmental responsibility. Upgraded player and team facilities. The dressing rooms, training areas, and recovery facilities will undergo significant upgrades, ensuring that players have access to world-class amenities. The improvements aim to provide the team with an environment that supports both performance and recovery. When will the new Camp Nou finally open? That's the million-dollar question. Initially, the club promised a return by March 2025, but that's now impossible. Delays in the pitch, electrical wiring, and permits push the deadline to September 2025, just in time for the 2025-26 season. But even that's not guaranteed. Why? Because the City Council hasn't approved round-the-clock construction yet, and they're still figuring out where to play during fall 2025. Now, here's the biggest hurdle: the 1,400-ton roof. This futuristic centerpiece was supposed to be installed in 2025, but the club hit a snag. Turns out, the third tier of the stadium isn't strong enough yet to hold it. So, they've pushed the roof to summer 2026. To keep games running, they'll rig temporary lights between the second and third tiers while construction grinds on. But wait, could this drag out even longer? Officially, the club says September 2026 is the full reopening date. But rumors suggest 2028 isn't off the table. Why? Noise complaints from neighbors are limiting work hours. The internal wiring is a maze, and laying the pitch is way trickier than anyone expected. The club's begging the city to let them work 24/7, but for now, it's a waiting game. So, here's the reality. Camp Nou might partially reopen in late 2025, but without that iconic roof. The grand finale? Sometime between 2026 and 2028, depending on permits, politics, and whether the construction gods cooperate. Where will Barcelona play in the meantime, and what's the cost of the new Camp Nou? FC Barcelona is currently playing home games at the Estadi Olympic Luis Companies in Montjuic. Although they initially planned to return to Camp Nou in March 2025, they are now confirmed to stay at Montjuic until the end of the 2024-25 season. There's even a possibility of playing some matches at other European venues if construction isn't completed by May 2025. This will depend on the progress of the works and agreements with local authorities. The Spotify Camp Nou renovation is estimated to cost around 1.07 billion euros, while the entire Espai Barca project will total 1.45 billion euros. To fund this massive project, FC Barcelona has secured financial backing from 20 investors, including Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. Repayments will start once the stadium is fully operational, leveraging the increased revenue expected from the new venue. The revamped Camp Nou is projected to generate up to 266 million euros in additional income over the next 7 to 10 years. The new Camp Nou promises to be one of the world's most modern and spectacular stadiums, but its opening date remains a mystery. With so many variables and construction challenges, only time will tell when Barca fans will see their team back in this legendary stadium. Will Barcelona manage to inaugurate the Spotify Camp Nou in 2025, or will the wait be even longer? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the new Spotify Camp Nou, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you never miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Also, drop a comment below and let us know what you think of this new stadium and when you think it will be ready. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.